Are you interested in learning more about personal finance but just don't know where to start? There are so many personal finance books out there that it seems overwhelming, and I get it. Even I get overwhelmed. That's why I made it easy for you. I narrowed it down to 3 books that will help teach you money fundamentals and help you get started on your financial journey. Hey guys, Melissa Dargan here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel on personal finance, where I talk about all things money. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 best practical books to help you get started on building wealth in your financial journey. For each book, I'll do a quick overview, basically the too long, didn't read summary. I'll cover the main takeaways, and I'll share with you why I think it is worth it to read these 3 books. In the description below, I'll include the links to the 3 books that I talk about. Trust me, they are worth the investment. Now, if you like learning about money as much as I do, go ahead and hit that like button. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to be updated whenever new personal finance content is released each week. Remember, it's free to like and subscribe and extremely helps with the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate your support. Thanks, guys. Now, let's get to the books. Let's start with The Missing Link by Professor Fred Selinger, a professor at the University of California, Berkeley. This book is like a hidden gem. I was able to learn about it because I took the personal finance class at UC Berkeley's Haas School of Business. The Missing Link is great for personal finance beginners. You get the fundamentals, from house and car buying to retirement and investing. The Missing Link simply breaks down complex money topics. Reading this book is like taking that class. If you can't get into the class because it's full at UC Berkeley or you're not a student on campus, then getting this book and reading it is the next best thing. One big takeaway was understanding the financial tools for retirement and why you need to save on your own. Because let's be real, it's not good to think you can rely on Social Security. My dad, who retired last year, now gets paid out by Social Security. But after 40 years of working since 1980, he only gets paid a little over $1,700 a month. That's around $21,000 a year. And so if you want to retire, do you think $21,000 is going to be enough for you? If not, this is why you need to start saving for retirement early. And because of Professor Selinger, I started to save for retirement the moment I got my first job. I now have a 6-figure retirement nest egg, which is going to continue to compound and gain money until I retire. Another good takeaway are the practical tips that come from this book. For instance, with car buying, it tells you the right time in which you should think about buying a car, typically the end of the year, because that's when car dealerships are trying to get rid of old inventory to make room for the new cars for next year. And he also gives good negotiation tips. So let's say you were going to buy using all cash, not to let the dealership know that you're going to use all cash from the beginning. Wait until the end after you've negotiated the price. It's these kind of practical tips that are found in this book that will help you save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars when it comes to personal finance. So, why should you read this book? This is the finance life class that we're missing. Since most of us didn't get the personal finance class that we wanted in grade school, this book teaches us what we need. It's where I started. I took this class and it was my first introduction to personal finance. But 10 years later, look at where I am today. I'm debt-free, a homeowner, I have a 6-figure nest egg waiting for me already in retirement, and I still have 30 years to go. And to help prove to you that it's worth it, I even bought this second copy, which is the most recent edition, the updated one, again, because I wanted to refresh my knowledge given how much information is in here and how much you can learn. Highly suggest it, and after reading through it, you can see the notes that I made. It does not disappoint. Check it out. Next is I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi, where The Missing Link helps teach us about the fundamentals of money and helping you understand the basics. I Will Teach You to Be Rich is the implementation. It's the actual application of getting started and managing your finances. Ramit sets up a 6-week program where each week he outlines actual action steps that you can take to start building what he calls your rich life. In the book, he covers a wide range of topics, from credit cards to bank accounts to investing and more. It's the ultimate guide to adulting that provides real action steps to help you manage your finances. And no matter what your financial situation is, I Will Teach You to Be Rich can help anyone serious about getting their financial life in order. I also have to say the sarcasm and wit that Ramit has in the tone of his book is refreshing and engaging. It's unlike those other books that can be really boring and you're like,
oh, I have to learn about money.
But what's great is that I Will Teach You to Be Rich has a really fun, sarcastic, witty tone that keeps you engaged. It kept me amused and wanting to learn and read more. As for the main takeaways, one of the key things is that Ramit's advice is unconventional. What I mean by that is he says, you don't need to have a budget, or there's such a thing as guilt-free spending or conscious spending. Also, it's okay to use credit cards. Just use them to your advantage. This is just a refreshing point of view because usually you're told by other personal finance gurus
that you have to cut your spending and manage your budget on a daily basis, and you need to know where every dime goes.
And that can just be a lot. So if you're someone looking to live a quality life while saving money and building wealth, I Will Teach You to Be Rich is the book that you want to read. Although Ramit talks about having no budget, he does give a high-level breakdown of how much you want to be spending versus saving and then how much you have for play money. So be sure to check out my 50-30-20 rule video that will help you understand just a higher level of how much you want to be budgeting for each of those categories. Another great main takeaway from the book is that Ramit gives specific advice. This is where he provides what credit cards you should have and which ones he has, which bank accounts to have and which ones he does, and where he invests his money and which trading platforms to use. And so for people who are looking where to start, it's a great how-to playbook on getting started with your finances. I will say that his credit card tips are clutch. Just last week, I used the script that Ramit had and was able to increase my credit card limit. So why should you read I Will Teach You to Be Rich? Because it's a powerful book that lays out a game plan with actual task and action items to get you started on your financial journey. For those of you looking for where to start and what you need to do exactly to get your finances in order, this book is for you. Last but not least is one of my favorite books of all time. It's Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. You may have already heard a lot about this book, and if you haven't, you need to read it now. Go to Amazon, buy the book. I've included the link in the description below. This book is a game changer when it comes to thinking about money. In this book, Kiyosaki talks about the lessons he learned from his two dads. One was his real dad, who he alludes to as his poor dad, and one was his best friend's dad, who he calls his rich dad. For the key takeaways in this book, one point is to make money work for you. And he gets into it in terms of explaining an asset versus a liability, where an asset helps you generate more income. You spend money, but that money makes money for you, versus a liability, which is just going to cost you money. So in this case, an asset is something like real estate, where you purchase it, you spend money on it, but if you use it, for instance, as a rental property, that generates future income. Kiyosaki really focuses on the point that through your life, you want to build more assets versus liabilities. Another good takeaway from the book is Kiyosaki highly suggests that you invest in financial education. We don't get taught financial education in grade school and in a number of colleges, and yet it's the basics if you want to build wealth and live a quality life in the future. This book helped me question what I was taught as a child about money. An example is growing up, I used to be told we can't afford it. The difference now is in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he turns that no statement into a question. So for example, instead of saying, I can't afford it, he flips it and says, you should ask yourself, how can I afford it? The how and the question changes this money mindset. And this is the thing that wealthy individuals think about constantly. They're in a growing state. They challenge their beliefs. They challenge any no to build wealth where they can. And why should you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Because this book is a game changer mentally. It helps you understand the rules around money. Because if you don't understand the rules of the game, how are you going to build wealth? While overall his lessons are high level, he is very thought-provoking and intentional when it comes to money. Growing up, I didn't come from a rich background. My parents struggled to make ends meet. I'm very grateful for the sacrifices that they made for my sister and I. At home though, my education about money was very limited. I was just taught, get good grades, get into a good college, get a good paying, stable job, and work there until you accrue retirement or pension and live a good, stable life. Does that ring a bell to anybody else? Rich Dad, Poor Dad challenges that mindset. It helps you see how building true wealth requires you to go above and beyond getting a stable, safe job. And if you're someone like me who didn't come from a rich background, this book is especially important to read. It helps open your mind to learn about money from someone who is wealthy. To me, Kiyosaki is my rich dad. I highly, highly recommend this book. So, with all those personal finance books out there, these 3 are where you want to start. The Missing Link by Fred Selinger serves as the Intro to Personal Finance course you never got in grade school. It's taught by a renowned professor at UC Berkeley, so reading his book and going through the lessons is similar to getting a world-class education for a fraction of the cost. I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit, Sethi is the practical step-by-step 6-week guide. By the end of the book, if you take the actions instructed, you will have opened the right bank accounts, know which credit cards to have, and started investing. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki helps shape your mentality about money. His high-level teachings don't give actionable, detailed advice, but it does help create a money mindset that empowers you to build wealth. These books changed my life. They gave me great money fundamentals to build on. And if you want the links to these books, I've included them in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that like button. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to be updated whenever new personal finance videos are released each week. Remember, it's free to do. I appreciate your support and thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Check it out, it's cash flow. Well, Garrett and I are excited to test this game out. It's made by Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I'll probably do a review video on it. So stay tuned for that. But until then, check out these other personal finance videos that I think you'll enjoy. See you in the next video.